I kept going doing college, creating content, and founding a business all at the same time. Here's how you can do too. So I've been doing this for the past 8 years, almost a decade of experience and statistics all analyzed, and the results is what I'm going to show you. I promise that after this video you will be able to do the same, stay in college, create content, found a business all at the same time, and actually do them and do them greatly. The way that I'm going to do it, give you the story, then give you the lesson, then I'm going to give you the secret of mine. Okay. Now you have to comprehend one thing, is that something about me, and it will all make sense in a second. The three careers I started in different times. So when I was 4, I started in the educational system. When I was about 7, 8, I started getting into business on and off. And when I was 14, I started actually creating content. I never stopped since then. So it means that I have 16 years of experience plus about 2 years. It's like primary, whatever that calls. I just don't say that is in the educational system. It's more of a childcare in it. So 16 years of educational system, about 12 years in business founding, and also about almost a decade of creating content. Now, what's the one thing that I've learned from business founding, creating content, and being in college at the same time is that you have to master yourself. And you don't understand what's the meaning of mastering yourself. I think for me the meaning is you have to actually read books. This is the only way for you to master yourself. And before you think, well, this is so ambiguous. No, it's not. When you're going to read books, you're going to get specified knowledge. And you're going to get the knowledge of people that are literally writing those books meticulously. Think in The Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill spent 22 years to write that book. And at the same time, you will get all the knowledge and you will get into the mental state. It's something that you can never get. I myself, the past 8 years, I never been into that state from videos, podcasts, whatever it is. I'm going to add one thing. If there is one thing that will actually make anyone on earth read a book, is analyzing and collecting the statistics about their lives. I did mine for 30 months and I realized that whenever I read books, I get closer to the best version of myself. So it was a no-brainer for me to just stop reading books forever. And since that day, I never stopped reading books every single day because I just realized that reading books and me being in the best version of myself have a very direct connection. Now, by the way, not everything have that because I talked about 18 things. It looks like one of the most important metrics that was just only in the best period of my life was reading books. So now you understand that, well, you should probably do too. It's like take my knowledge, take my statistics as your base and just go do that. It's my most valuable asset and I'm literally just hand it to you for free. It's the most valuable asset for every company, every project, every person. I'm literally handing to you for free. Now, what does this mean? It's like, okay, now how to actually, do the three and how? It's like how? You have to understand few laws. One of them is the Parkin's Law. Parkin's Law is described in the 4-Hour Workweek perfectly. He says that the Parkin's Law is literally just the gas exploding according to the size of a container. That's what happens. Okay, so the thing is, the Parkin's Law is literally just making an unrealistic goal in unrealistic time frame. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to make content creation and also stay in college and found a business all at the same time. This is unrealistic, and once you put it in a time frame, it's like, I'm going to start them in the next week. Then this puts you in a different mind state. This is unrealistic examples, like never happens, but you're gonna have those things. It's like in school or in college, you're gonna push yourself. You're gonna say, I'm gonna study all what we studied this semester in 1 week or something like that. In content creation, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna upload this crazy amount of videos, 100 whatever, in this amount of time. In business, you're gonna say, I'm gonna do this amount of marketing in this amount of time, or I'm just gonna serve this amount of client in this amount of time. All of these are just you pushing yourself. Or you obviously can do outreach, cold outreach, cold emails, cold phones. That's not my thing. My thing is content creation. So also the other advantage that you get is like you can use them all three at the same time. So your business, you use it in content creation and also in college. Your college, you use it in content creation and also in business. Content creation, you use it in college and also in business. That's how you do it. For you to get the most out of it. One thing that's very important, so one book that will help us here to comprehend this very beautifully is The 4-Hour Work Week. As literally the title describes, The 4-Hour Work Week is a book to teach people on how to work only 4 hours a week and make all of this money, whether that be in the same amount of money they're making or even more. So now you realize, oh, this is interesting and this actually makes so much sense. Now, how can we apply the rules explained in the book? I'm still reading the book, right? I'm more than halfway there. But the thing is, I've seen so much growth that makes so much sense with this subject. I'm going to give you an example. It talks about the 20-80% rule in a way that I've never seen before. I've heard that before a lot of times with the gurus. I hated that. But once explained correctly, I understood what actually it is meaning and how I can actually implement it. Once you look at it and he says, look, everything in life, this rule applied. 20% of what you do gives you 80% of the results. And here he speaks and he says, most likely it's not that. It's 5% gives you 95%, or 10% gives you 90% of the results. Most people spend all of their times doing the 90%. He speaks even and he says with his own experience, and he says, I was working from 9 to 5 every day as a salesman. And I realized that he was making, let's say, X amount of sales. Then he realized that, well, the most people that he was calling, if he's going to call him before 9, so before 8:30, etc., so between 8 and 8:30, they will be awake, they will be available, and the secretaries will not respond. So they will respond themselves. So there, he's going to have more chance to actually have a good conversation with them and actually make sales. And he realized that that's all what he did. He was working from 8 to 8:30, and at the end he was working from 7:30 to 8. So before actually 9 to 5 and after 9 to 5. And you ask yourself, okay, this actually makes a lot of sense, but how can I implement it? You just ask yourself, if you have statistics, so if you have a company or business, you should look at your spreadsheet and just ask yourself, what is the thing that is driving more revenue or profit? And you rank them. You rank everything and just say, okay, what's the best 10%? What they have unique? It's like, is it unique customers? Is it unique products? Is it unique timing? Is it unique, whatever it is. For me, I actually did that personally with my content. I analyzed 91 free content, which means like free cost. Cost free. I didn't spend any money on them because I had this big problem that I had that I couldn't make viral videos without actually spending money on. And I realized that, well, I don't have money to spend. And when I spend, I don't get return on investment. It's just basically just me burning money. So I have to figure out a way on how to actually to make videos that gets views without me spending money. So I realized that the best way to do it is analyze every video that I uploaded this year. So this was like 6 months ago that I didn't spend any money on, which was about 91. I got them all in a spreadsheet. I put in the views and I ranked them. I realized that the 10%, actually the top 10% have something in common. Most of them were ads or promotions. And me promoting something, whether it's mine or someone else's. I realized, well, actually this is interesting. So is there something about promotions that is making it, go viral? We can figure that out. But one thing that I know is ads get more views than not ads. Good. Now I looked down on all of the other videos and I realized that, well, the worst 10% has bad quality images, are very old, and it just looked horrible. So the lighting wasn't good, whatever that is. So I just made a decision. I said, so I'm not gonna film with my iPhone 6s anymore, and I'm also gonna do more ads. And I realized that, well, that's also a problem. Like, gives me another problem, which is I cannot do ads all the time. Just like problems that you just fix, okay? Just like, okay, I'm gonna make videos that ads like without making it ads. Like, I'm gonna every time promote something that I have, or just whatever, or just promote people, promote whatever, even if it's not paid, because it looks like that would drive you views. Now, this is just an example to understand like how the 20-80% rule actually works. And my theory is, if someone does it on the 3 fields that I'm speaking about here, which is business founding, content creation, and also being in college, we'll have the highest ROI from them. Because if you're going to do 10%, 10%, 10%, this means you're going to do what? 30%? Let's say you're going to do 20%, 20%, 20%. We're going to do 60% of your time. You're going to spend 60% of your time. And how much are you going to get? So it's 80, 80, 80. Now we're talking about 24. You understand? It's like 24. It's like it's 2.4x. You understand how this means? It's a lot. It's not something that you can get from anywhere. The thing is a little bit difficult, but of course it is. You know, if you want to be exceptional, you have to be fine with being the exception. That's just part of the deal. Okay. So now we talked about all of these topics. We understand how actually content creation can be studied, and actually can be dealt with a way that is smart. And the same thing goes with business founding and also being in college. So if I'm gonna, let's say, to explain this more, if I'm gonna see my customers, my top 10% customers that drive 90% of my income, all have something in common, of course I'm gonna just market for those people. Those will become my avatar, right? And the same thing goes. Actually, I'm very cold. I'm gonna get blanket. That's not what you see all the time on videos, isn't it? It's being authentic. But the thing is, you have to comprehend is like, to actually balance them all, you have to just figure out what the 10% of all of them. If that being is, let's say, if that is being, I'm gonna have to take more notes, that what drives the 10%, the 90% results in college, or basically make more videos that would drive more views, or the 90% results in YouTube or content creation. If that means that I have to just make my avatar different, if that's my drive 90% of my results, I have to do them. It's not my choice. It's not as if I'm gonna wake up and choose what to do. It's more of I have to do what I have to do, and that's it. It's just like that simple, and you just do it, because otherwise you're gonna be broke, and worse than that, worse than being a failure in one thing is being a failure in 3 things. But that is the price. And before people hang and start running about how actually you should never diversify your attention, this is not diversifying your attention, because you have to be smart. Like for me, actually, my brand and my content creation are all the same brand. So it's not I am here inventing and managing and doing it. No, my brand is like I have a big brand. A branch of it is content creation, and a branch of it is business. So basically, I just manage brand and stay in college. This makes my attention more focused. So we just have to focus on building my brand overall. And my brand has more than 1 branches. I have the content creation, which is YT Official. This is content creation in Arabic or Moroccan. I have YT Presentation Service, which is my service or my business. That's my service, okay? My service that I just made about 10 months ago. And I have YT Galaxy, which is my English content. It's literally what you're seeing me right now here. And the difference between them is the difference between heaven and earth. It's different. The content that I produce in English, it's not in Arabic, because I just figured out that the content that I can produce in English, I cannot produce it in Arabic. and vice versa. There's just stuff that makes everything unique. So I'm not here diversifying my content, diversifying my attention. It all comes down to this one brand, which is my brand, YT. WITH, 4 E's, E. And I have college. So college, I tried to drop out. I really did. But I figured out that I will not drop out because of the story that I told you. I didn't? Okay. So I just wanted to drop out so bad, because I was reading the Think and Grow Rich, and I was in the chapter when he was speaking about how you have to burn all bridges. And I said, I want to burn all bridges. It's like, it's not something that I just want to do for fun. It's not a brand that I'm gonna burn all bridges, for this brand. And I really, I said it to my mother, I said it to my family. They didn't want, my brothers didn't want. And we had this argument. It's like every few days I say to my mother, but I don't push too hard, because I don't want to push her too hard, because my mother is not, So I have to be careful with my mother. But I just speak to her and I try to explain to her what I want. That didn't work, until one day I really just lost it, because I wanted so bad and hated going to college, and I had responsibility. I just hated it overall. So I got out of the house, got my bike, I was going to the mountains just to prove my point to my family. It's like, I'm doing this. But I was going, went about a few miles, 1 mile or so. I realized that, better than just me, because a lot of people told me that you have to go to a therapist. I said before, better than just going to the mountains and do nothing, I should probably go to a therapist. So I went back, got my keys, got my backpack, and I went to a therapist. And I spent 1 hour with her, and I told her everything. I told her my life story, basically, and she listened. It was awesome actually experience. And she told me that, really, I don't think you should drop out, because I told her my reason, and she said, look, let's say you drop out, will you be able to now make that? I said, no. I said, you should just stay in college. You have 2 years left. It's like you have 1 year left. You have this year and another year left. And it actually made so much sense, because it just gave me examples of people that she knew that really, because I'm in nursing college. Okay, so it's she knows nurses that are in the same situation. So it's my career, they're advanced. It's whatever. It's like Jimmy talking, Mr. Beast talking about content creation. And she's talked to me. She said, look, my parents are both doctors. So I've been here. And a lot of people actually have this situation. But the thing is, the people that stay and actually make income from their careers, so with the career that I'm pursuing in college, they have better chances of actually winning. Which I was, okay, this is different. And she just said it. She said, there is people that I know. She said, there's one. I didn't know them actually. But she said, actually they started a business while being, employed, and they actually just succeeded. And some of them, their businesses went off and took off. They had to just leave their jobs. And that was awesome actually. And I came back home. I remember I went to my mother and I said, okay, I'm not going to drop out. But the thing is, and in fact, there is a video that I didn't upload. It was me 1 day before. And the reason why is I just remember it was just this situation. I just got out of shower and I was thinking about it, and I made a video about I'm really dropping out of college. But I didn't upload it. I deleted it, most likely, because I just found that it was so confusing. My thoughts were not organized, etc. And a lot of people go through this. And that's why I make these videos, to help people go through what I've been through. I make these videos to help college students who create content and are business founders to actually do what they do better, and do it better. Okay, it's not only do what they do, but to actually do it better, because it's not easy. And in fact, you will not find a lot of information about people who are in the same situation, that really are trying to be in college and are creating content and are being a business founders. Obviously, you might not be all three of them. You might just be two. whatever two you choose, whether that being content creator and business founder, or college students and content creator, or college students or business founder. It's like I found them all in the same situation. It's just like how much are you willing to compromise for? How much are you willing to pay? How high the cost that you're willing to pay? Whether that be in your time, your effort, your energy, your focus, etc. And part of it is also the social life. That's why I think this subject is very important to realize. If there is one thing that I learned from actually being in college, creating content, and founding a business in the social life is a lot of people will not accept you just because the way you are. I will say that some of them just, you remind them of their potential. It's true. Because they think that that's their potential. They can do what you're doing, and they just hate that idea, so they hate you as a consequence. Some people are just so enslaved, so in the matrix, that they cannot think about such thing. It's like people in the matrix, nobody has any clue that they are in the matrix. But the people who break through the matrix, they understand that the matrix exists. So imagine if the matrix guy or Neo was talking to the people in the matrix. They cannot comprehend. So that's what it is. And that's why there is actually the culture of Red Bull, Blue Pill, whatever. It's all about this. It's all about like, if you're not socially acceptable 100% of the times, that's just how life works. If you expect that everybody will accept you just because you do whatever it is, no. And if you want everybody to accept you, you have to just be unauthentic at all. You have to just shut up when you have an opinion, and even if it's small, and you have to just really like be a slave. If you're a slave, I'm pretty sure that slaves at the time where there was slave with their definition, they were loved. I'm pretty sure. Like, nobody hated slaves. You understand? Nobody hates slaves. But the thing is, they might like bully, whatever, it's like harsh people, but not hate. It's like they were socially acceptable. So now, as I promised, now you are able to actually know how to actually stay in business, stay content creator, and stay college student. And the good thing is, you can do it from now. And what you've seen here, you can never unseen. So might as well subscribe.